Hey, this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Wednesday, February 13th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and it's really hard to say, but it's looking like this might be a trading range day. We may actually end up making another leg down here that's similar to this one, and it's a little early to tell yet at this point. We'll need to see what happens, but let's talk about what we've had up until this point. And hopefully you can see this. There's a clear channel here. We had a break of that channel. We made a new high, 3 little pushes up that failed, 2 in a row. There's actually I probably should have circled that one in green. There's actually a short right here. It's not a great setup. I'm going to go ahead and put it in green. Just because you might have, if you took it, it was probably, you can see it would have easily worked. It's coming off the high side. It's after a failed break above the last high, a trend line break. So you got to expect a possible sell-off now. It's usually best to wait on a second entry, but you didn't get that till way down here. And it's a little risky taking this right here. But when this little reversal bar failed right there, you got to consider going short, especially after the trend line break and the 2 moves to a new high. But let me show you one other thing. If you remember yesterday afternoon, we had this channel right up through here, like so. Just put both sides on there to make it easy to see. And you can see that came into play today. So we really were still within this channel. So that might have given you a clue to take this long here. But regardless, the trend is up, and that's the first break of the trend line. So we're still looking for longs at this point till we get a retest, and that's what the rules tell us. And you can see. So, but if you remember the channel from the day before, you might have recognized this bounce right here as well. So that gives this trade a little more merit. And there's really 2 legs down here. There's one leg, a little pullback, and then a second leg that overshot right there. So you've got an overshoot. You really sold off really hard here, but notice all those matching lows right there, and then you got another one there. That's a failed break lower. This is really a trading range right here. This was a trading range, and we failed and broke out of it, and so that would have alerted you to that, but I wanted to show you that. But let's start with the first trade here. We were in this trading range. It's kind of trending up, as you can see. Each low is a little higher than the next, and we broke out, and guess what? We moved an exact measured amount from the first. There's your first channel, and you can see that, and then look at your next channel. That's exactly where we went to. So even the channels will be measured to a degree. And this right here is a second entry long. Notice that we came back once and tested this breakout area. We went higher. We came back again and tested it. So that's a double test of this breakout area, and you got to take that to the long side when you see that. It's a little bit concerning because it's so close here, so you just got to be ready to exit if prices don't do what you expect. But it pushed on through there rather quickly. Good for a scalp, nothing more, because then we overshot, and this channel is really a little bit higher than that. It's probably more like that right. Get it just above those closes there, and then you notice it catches those to the tick and that one to the tick. And so there's enough room to scalp out to get to the high before you get to the high side of the channel. There's not here, but generally a 2-legged pullback to the EMA and a double test of both the EMA, the previous breakout area. The trend is up. We're making higher highs and higher lows, definitely making higher lows. That one's worth taking. So, but then you get up here, and this is where I went short. Notice those matching highs all along there. That 1 tick higher, I love those shorts. Great place to get short, but really the best place was right here. And it's a failed break out of this channel, and it's a great setup. And it's coming off the upper side of the trend channel, so you're probably going to get a pullback to here. You didn't know this was going to happen. You expect you'll probably get a bounce here, but you didn't, and you got a chance to ride this out. So you were able to ride. You're probably looking to exit right here when this is set up, but you could have got a little more out of it depending. You could have waited for this bar and then moved your stop right above it, and then you would have got stopped out and gotten most of that move. And that's a great setup. This is the first break of the trend channel. Generally, you're not going to be looking to go short up here, but because we were in these little choppy ranges, it makes it okay. You just got to be ready, you know, and you might have even exited out when you got these dojis side by side. That might have been enough to exit out, but if you held on, you know, you were able to ride this all the way down. But you definitely want to go long here. This is the first break of the trend line. There's probably going to be a retest of the high. You don't know that it's going to run straight up like that. It doesn't always happen that way, but it did. And it was tempting to go short right here, but it's usually better to wait on a second entry, and that came right here. And notice that because a lot of times you're going to make two legs up to a new high, but notice you had these overlap, and so I wouldn't have taken that one then. It's not really a good setup. You got an up-down bar, then it ticks one tick lower and turns up, and then sells off. I marked that one in green because now you got those three pushes up, three quick, actually it's four, failed quickly above that high, and then that high. Each one was like one tick, and usually once you see that third push up, that's a great place to go short. But a lot of times you'll get two legs up, so you didn't know that this was over yet. So, and this is not coming out of a trading range. This is after a failed break out the low side. So a little more dangerous, a little more aggressive to go short here. You're better off to wait for the second entry, which came right here. And you got that one, you got a nice little reversal bar, and it ticked one tick higher and then turned down. You go short right there. Again, you don't know that it's going to run off like this, but it did. And you were able to ride that all the way down. If you caught that, that was the best move of the day. This one allowed you a little bit of a runner. This one, if you entered, yeah, no runner on that one. Your runner might have survived there. Let me just double check that before I say that because I can't remember. 18 and a quarter, and it ran. Yeah, your runner did survive on that one. But you know, you should have been probably looking to exit up here near the previous high, and you would have got a little more out of it, but very risky to hang on. But anyway, runners were good here. Runner was good actually up here if you took it, and here, and even here your runner was good. And this is just a two-legged pull back to the trend line, the EMA, nice reversal bar. It is an up-down bar, but this is off the trend line, off the EMA, and this is a down trend. It's a second entry short. And off to the races. And again, your runners were safe. And I would have thought about exiting right down here at your previous lows. You might have even considered exiting right here. You would have got a little more by hanging on for this low. But that was the low from yesterday afternoon. And notice that, how far away we are from the EMA, and that thing ticked one tick lower and turned up. That's a great place to go long. There hadn't been a trend line break, so really I wanted to put this one in green. But you got your two legs down. There's leg one, then there's leg two, and this one's well overdone, and you got to figure you're going to get a snap back there. So that was a nice trade. So I left it blue, even though it probably should be green, because it is a little more aggressive. And notice again, there's one push down, two pushes down, and then a third push down, and you'll see that a lot, those three pushes. So. There was another long here that I marked. You got this trend line, but we're really still looking for shorts. But there's a double bottom. It's all above the EMA, and your measured leg was up here. But once we went into this overlap, you definitely should have exited this. This was the last trade I took. I went ahead and risked this trade because of the setup there. It's a great setup. You're really coming back and testing this breakout area right here twice, and it failed and it goes up, but it didn't quite get enough for 5 ticks, and then it goes into all this. So you know, better to exit right there, and that's what I did, and thank goodness I did, because then it sold off rather quickly. And we may get another leg down just like this one, and if that's the case, our target's going to be down there about where that blue line is. There's that leg, and then there's that one, and you can see my line's off just a tad there. And so there would be your second leg down. And that's what I would suspect is probably going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see. But this is generally the middle point of a bigger pattern. And obviously you had this, but that's your clue not to really be thinking long in here, because you had this nice channel down and you know you're going to get a retest. So is the retest going to go down here to the measured leg? I don't know. You just got to wait and see. But until you get something different, and I would probably have my trend line drawn just like that for now, and we'll see what happens. But I'm going to wrap this up pretty quick. My headphones are beeping at me, and I hope I haven't already lost my volume. But I'm going to lose my headphones and my volume here pretty quickly. So I'm going to wrap it up. This is Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.